Boom. What a dub yesterday. We've got downtown Dwayne Brown still defrosting from being in the press box. We talk about it all. We get into our Western Conference predictions and an Our Guys draft. Cannot wait. Starting now. Up the Pids, baby. Let's go. What a dub yesterday. As CONCACAF as it gets, but our type of CONCACAF. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think if the players weren't freezing and cared just a smidge more, that could have turned into a ref disaster fest.
We
were very close.
Yeah, I mean, it was already kind of a ref disaster fest.
That's what I'm saying, though, but it never got aggressive enough.
Right. I think, honestly,
like it could have been way more explosive. The ref sucked.
I thought the ref was fine. I thought the ref was just cold too, honestly.
Well,
I thought everybody was just trying to get out of there. I really felt like everybody was just like, I'm freezing, I don't care enough.
I've never seen both teams so united in yelling at a ref more than last night.
Yeah.
I mean, in the stadium, it was constant screaming and yelling from both benches at the ref.
It was fun that it was so cold. Obviously, not a ton in attendance. You could hear everything until the Reggie incident. Lots to get into. We're previewing all of the Western Conference and Our Guys draft, which honestly is the thing I'm most looking forward to. I, of course, am joined by super producer Yahir Vasquez, just returned from New Orleans doing his super producer thing. That's where you're at your most super producer.
Yeah, dude,
like Super Bowl Radio Row.
Well, it's in the name, right? Super. Like, it's like I became double super.
That's right.
Dang,
That's
double
right.
super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, good one. Yeah. And downtown Dwayne Brown, of course. Look at you, rosy cheeks and all. You survived it.
That's frostbite.
You carry it well, though. It looks good on you. So since Yaya's already defending the CONCACAF refs, we'll start with him from the Toyota Lounge in downtown Denver. Aaron Long, then, you think that goal should have stood? No offside interference.
I don't. If it was the other way around, I would be like, no, it should stand.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to call it fair. I'm a Pidsman till I die. But if it was on the Rapids way, it would have been called. If it was in the MLS, it would have been called a goal. Any way you look at it, I think it would have been called a goal for the most part.
Except for maybe Champions League, where they like to get real wacky.
And that's where we were, right? And that's where like the argument starts. But I'm more mad at Cole for missing his assignment than I am at like the goal being allowed. Cole got completely left in the dust in that one instance, and that's what allowed Aaron Long to get the ball right past Stefan. Stefan was also just kind of left standing. He didn't think anybody was going to get there. So I'm more mad at the defensive awareness from Cole on a set piece than I am actually at the refs allowing it to stand, if I'm honest.
Rafa penalty?
Oh, I'm glad he didn't take it.
No, the second potential penalty. You're cool with that one?
No, that should have been a penalty. That's contact. But again, the ref...
I don't... And that's the one I'm more okay with. I'm like, fairly soft.
Then again, that was to me, it's 50-50. I think it's a penalty, but it's like, it is what it is. What about you doing?
I'm going to say penalty.
Dwayne doesn't get into this, like...
Yeah, I'm just...
Yaya and I have that Latin flavor to us, so we're quick to shit on a ref. Why wouldn't we? Good old downtown.
I will shit on a ref whenever I can.
Good.
Back on the streets, that's what they know me for. Is shitting on refs.
So what a game, fellas! There was nowhere to score goals unless they came from set pieces. Or unless you just dribbled the ball into the goal, which to Kevin's credit, he almost was able to do.
But it still didn't go in, so technically that didn't even work.
I think there were 3 players that could have scored on that.
I agree.
And none of them
So it
could
was
get it in. It was the weirdest, slowest.
you
like,
couldn't get pace on the ball.
you
The
could've-
ball was traveling really slow.
Yeah.
But
it
that's
was
not on the
strange.
ball. That's not on the pitch.
No,
that
that
was
is-
on Omir and Rafa tingling their feet up like they're in love or something, and then just falling through the goal
Yeah.
instead of the ball. Also, I want to go back to the refs real quick. I was pissed at one call last night. That was that offsides on Kevin Cabral where he was clearly onside by by 2 meters almost. But they call it offsides because he's so damn quick that they couldn't tell that he ran before the ball even got there. That's what pissed me off the most. That's when I was yelling at the TV, and now my wife is hitting me to shut up because everybody's asleep.
I shouted up the effing Pids hard on that free kick goal.
Yeah, that was a good
And then I was
Ooh,
wearing my
God, that
shirt,
was
so
beautiful.
I just flashed it to my wife. Glorious times. 2-1, Djordje masterclass. Weird game. I hated how they shut it down for 20 minutes just trying to defend the 1-0. But then they get that second goal, which I thought was deserved. And that long goal to make it 2-1 and the Reggie screams and injury kind of put a smidge on a damper of what I thought was a really impressive performance. Dwayne, you were there. What were your takeaways from it all?
I mean, the biggest takeaway is that ball was frozen, so all of the things that you didn't like that happened last night, as far as, pushing the ball up or missing passes and stuff, like this is a game that you have to let all of that go because the turf was so hard. The ball was so hard that just keeping control of anything, was impossible. And like you could see it talking to the players after the match, like they all kind of grinned about how bad it was. So
The defenders look great. The attackers,
defenders-
not so much.
the defenders were great. One of the big talking points in the offseason was, especially with Chris Armas, was really shutting down, like getting cooked on transitions, being more aggressive on defense. I think that we got a good glimpse of how strong that backline can be with Ian, with Cheeto, Keegan, and Reggie. Reggie to me,
the vet line.
yeah, like Reggie to me
old
was,
line.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was one of the best players last night by far.
Who's that, sorry?
Reggie Cannon.
Yes. Muzzled
Like,
Bouanga, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Muzzled.
the way he absolutely shut Bouanga down was incredible. So I think you look at last season giving up 60 goals. You look at the offseason of people being frustrated with not a lot of moves being made. And then you hear the repeated message from Chris Armas of we have to be more aggressive on the ball and defense. We have to shut down, the lapses in judgment on transition. And
Better
we
in
saw a
possession.
glimpse of that last night, and it looked good. It didn't look great because the
It's hard
conditions
to
are
judge
what
a
they
lot,
are.
yeah.
It's the first game back, but there's reasons to be excited about the defense versus last year. There was a lot of reasons to not be excited about the defense.
Is that your biggest takeaway, Yaya, the D?
To me, it was the midfield actually, and I know that they had a lot of like errant passes. They tried to play a lot of the long ball. They were trying to get it to Rafa, but when they were playing in space, I really liked the way that Cole and Ollie and Mihailovic were kind of connecting. They weren't too pressed. They were really calm under very stressful situations. Sometimes there were being 2 guys around them, and they were passing the ball back and forth. There was a little bit of tiki-taka there. It was a lot of give and go, and I really like that because in years past, even last year, just looking with this midfield, they just grab the ball and kick it as far as they could, or they try to go immediately to the wings. I like that they're trying to build up through the middle because that's their strength. They have Ollie there. They have Bassett. They have Djordje. Their playmakers are all through the middle, not the outside. And I really enjoyed that they were trying to really emphasize that, and they were trying to have the ball in their playmakers instead of trying to get it out to the wings as quickly as they could and hope that one of those guys can beat them one-on-one, which neither Cabral or Romero could last night. So I really just, that midfield to me, even if it wasn't perfect, I like that they tried it. I like that they said, nope, this is our strength. Let's push through the middle and let's try to get the ball to Rafa. Even if it's a long ball, even if it's like out to Cabral, even if it's out to Amir, let's try to get the ball to the guys that we know can make a play for us.
100%. I thought the back lines and the midfield were extraordinary and really put LAFC into a pickle. I mean, they were the better team for 80% of that match.
Yeah.
Yep.
No doubt. And I think a 2-goal advantage would have been deserved going back to LA.
Yeah, and again, it's all set pieces, right? It's like, that's the only way both teams are to take advantage.
Yeah.
Neither of them was really dangerous except for that one play that the Rapids had that they all just fumbled. It all came down to set pieces and who could take advantage. And if you go set piece for set piece, the Rapids probably have a better set piece coach, set piece taker, and a set piece like headers because they have a taller team back there. So at the end of the day, it was just one defensive lapse from a guy that's usually pretty solid on that, made it a 1-goal difference, but it's also you took advantage when you could. So that's the best part.
And it was a good reminder of like when Djordje and Cole are healthy and everyone's right around them, this is a team that can mess with anyone in the MLS, no matter what. And the dick is no fun to come to. Pause. You know.
I'm sorry. I
Like,
tried to laugh. I'm a child.
That's not an enjoyable atmosphere. Also, we were joking about it off stage. A strong argument for the MLS not moving to a European calendar schedule.
I actually want it even more. It plays into the Rapids' advantage, maybe. Like give me this schedule. Like, I know it's gonna suck for fans, but at the end of the day, don't you want to win more than you want fans?
No, they want to make money.
I want, me personally, I'm talking about like us as fans. I'd rather get a win, and that's gonna play to the Rapids. Altitude plus 5-degree weather. Nobody's gonna want to come play here, and it's gonna be perfect for the Rapids.
That's the feeling you got in the press box too. Was LA definitely did not want to play that game.
Not so much in the press box as much as it was in the press.
In the post-game presser.
The post-game presser, LAFC's coach kind of kicked off the presser, and he did the coach speak of it's impossible to prepare for this. Make no mistake, folks, that guy was salty AF about having to come to Colorado. Look, this is LAFC. They are, in my opinion, the spoiled brats of MLS. You saw them go to Real Salt Lake last year in the snow. They lost. A few weeks later, they come to Colorado in the cold. They lost. They come back. They play last night. They lost. And then right into the presser, he's cranky about, the weather. He mentioned this is not what we train for. We train in the summer. We play for summer games. Dude, I'm sorry that you have to deal with adversity, but you're a pro. You have to get your troops in order to deal with what the game presents to you. And you didn't do it, and you got beat for it. And the other thing somebody asked, I think it was Matt Pollard with Burgundy Wave asked, is this the coldest game you've ever been a part of as a coach or player? Then the dude smirks and puts on like cool guy posture and says, I played in Germany. We've played in much colder. As if it's a cool badge of honor, but you just finished crying about it. So it's clear that it was, we lost, so we're going to cry about it. Because 2 seconds later, he was all proud of colder weather in Germany. Dude, you got beat. Just suck it up. Take your loss. Take that L on the way out.
Charmin soft. 100%. We're going to give our final thoughts on the game and cannot wait to do these Western Conference predictions. Whole lot more from last night's game, I'm sure, in our guys' draft as well. After this break, where I want to just shout out our merch. You can see the beautiful Up the Fucking Pids t-shirt right there.
What
20% off on our website right now. I was rocking the podcast badge, which you can see right there in the corner. If you're an audio listener, it's probably the logo of the audio cover. You downloaded.
I
That
have
is
a sweater
also
too,
on
you
sale.
know, the DNVR sweater.
DNVR sweater from Big Yaya there. We've got some other burgundy merch on there as well. The little Flagstaff and the Die Hard shirt. Go to the DNVRlocker.com and check it out. If you become a Die Hard today, you also get your first t-shirt free when you sign up, which is quite the deal. If you like that scarf on the desk, sorry, those are sold out. Better luck next time. And then DNVR events. Come to the DNVR bar on Colfax and York. Check it out. We have some awesome events right now going with 2 takeovers for Nuggets and Avs. Avs doing one in the suite, and Quebec Nordique / Avalanche legend going to be in attendance with Eric Lacroix, a legend in it of himself. So check that out. Tickets are going really fast. DNVR.com/events, QR code right there, link in the description, or maybe just listen and type what I'm saying. DNVR.com/events. Nuggets takeover also going down. That'll be on March 7th. Party bus from here. Bevies on the bus. Vibes tremendous. Get to hang out with the guys. And really a tremendous deal for the ticket included and everything that comes with it. So check that out. All we're trying to do is give a better experience to Denver sports fans, because we ourselves are Denver sports fans and would only want to do stuff we would want to do. So there you go. Check it out. And up the fucking Pids. Okay. Final thoughts after that Charmin soft presser. Also, no way it was colder in Germany. And I've seen games in Champions League, which, you know, Champions Cup, but same thing, where like teams have to go to Russia when it's the Russian off season and play with the orange ball and do the same exact thing. I saw R9 once do a tremendous brace, much like Djordje, the real Ronaldo. So if it was good enough for Ronaldo, should be good enough.
Dude, it's just
for
LA
LAFC.
bias, right? It's West Coast
100%.
bias. It's a bunch of prissy West Coast people from LA thinking that they're better and they want the sunny and the beaches. And I'm like, that's all fine for vacation, but when it comes to real work, like, you gotta hit the cold sometimes. Like, it's fine. Like, everybody else does it. Like, you could do it too.
I will say
100%.
we talked to Djordje after the game as well, and somebody had asked about the weather conditions, and his response was basically like, you get what you get, you play the game. And then he mentioned LA, and he was just like, yeah, you know, they probably don't like it. Clearly they didn't like it watching them play. They never want to come play here. They never want to play in Colorado. And it's just, the word is out. Like, even with the players, like, they know what happens when LA comes out here.
I mean, Giroud looked non-existent. Igor Jesus looked non-existent.
Giroud was punching dudes all night because he was pissed off. He would get near someone and he just like pushed him because he's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could see this on the TV broadcast, but when he got subbed off after a game of doing pretty much nothing, he punched the top of the cover over the seats. And I was just like, what a baby. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah, that was really pretty glorious. Shall we do it, guys? And obviously, hoping for the best for Reggie. Chris Armas's comments after the game were encouraging, basically saying so far they hadn't found anything structural, just seemed like a bad bump.
It was
But
such a
talked
close
about
game.
the knee and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, like, Keegan got hit in the Pids and he like laid down for like a good minute and a half where he couldn't get up, and it was like a softball too. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a cold night.
Yeah.
Terrifying screams that you could hear on the broadcast in the stadium and press row. Dwayne was saying, so oof, crazy stuff. I think it's time, guys. Alyssa,
time.
would you bring up our Western Conference predictions graphic? Am I doing this right? Dwayne, how should we go about this?
You got it.
We
man.
go one at a time and justify our rankings?
But we just talk
Or
all
do
at
we-
the same time.
I think
Talk through
normally
the
we
top
go one
three
at a
first.
time, but we're cramming a lot into one show. So
I think one at a
Like,
time
we're just
works.
gonna throw them up, and then we can roast or toast.
I love it. I mean, we can give our rebuttal when we talk about our own.
Yeah,
so
for
we
sure.
can
Sure.
we could go through it like this. I thought it was a lock for everyone to have Galaxy, Seattle, and LAFC in some order as the top three. I'm the only one with such order. I also have Dallas tremendously low, and I'm the only one who doesn't have Vancouver last. In fact, I have him in the playoffs. So we're gonna have some fun here.
We were all over the place on this.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's a beautiful thing, and I mean, if anything, it shows we know MLS because it's for sure not gonna go according to predictions.
Everything you're
No.
seeing right now is not going to happen
Yes.
at all. Like,
Yep.
maybe the top, and that's about it for one of us.
So yeah, your biggest takeaways from your final predictions here before the season gets going. Which, by the way, moves are still happening left and right. We submitted these graphics before, like, Nicholas Lodeiro was traded to Houston.
I think before Evander was official too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Though we all knew it was happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had it from me.
we at least knew he was out of Portland. I feel
Yeah,
like.
for sure. For me, I kind of look at this and I'm like, everybody made moves. Everybody either exponentially got worse or exponentially got better immediately. The Rapids seems to be the only team that kind of stayed the course. And it's like, we're going to bring back the core and just kind of put more pieces around them.
Yeah.
But looking at FC Dallas, and me and Dre talked about this, and me and Dwayne as well, that they're so volatile. They're either going to be great or
Yes.
they're going to be horrible.
Yes.
There's no in between for this team
100%.
at all. And it all comes down to how much does Lucho buy into the team?
Yep.
But also, how does he work with a guy like Leo Chu? How does he work with a guy like Peter Musa? Shaq Moore, I know Dre hates him, but I love Shaq Moore. I'm a Shaq Moore appreciator.
I was just roasting your rankings.
But I think FC Dallas, is going to be the biggest key to the season for the Western Conference.
Biggest wild card.
Well, I think it's going to, what they do, I think it's going to dictate a lot of the West, because it's going to be a lot of how points are figured out, how the West, it's usually like interleague, right? So to me, I think it's how they do. It's going to dictate how the rest of the teams go into their summer transfer window and how they adjust to how FC Dallas is doing. Because if they do good, I can see them making even a bigger splash in the summer. And does that push Seattle to go get another guy? Does that push LAFC to go get an Antoine Griezmann if it doesn't happen this window? Like, what happens at that point? And that's where it kind of, I'm so interested in to see what FC Dallas does this whole time.
Yeah. How Lucho reacts is going to be huge. I was surprised that all summer they talked about him going to South America. Then the window closes and okay, we figure out a deal with FC Dallas, and the Evander thing kind of unlocked everything. I see a schedule where they could easily get to early May and have like 8 points and be bottom of the table, and maybe Lucho's out. And I could see them being like the team you guys really believe in. Dwayne, you're high on FC Dallas. Let's get into them.
Yeah.
And you are the resident FC Dallas hater.
I am a
say,
hater. I am a FC Dallas hater.
so. Unabashed.
You know, in years past, I've always done a lot of research into my predictions, and they're always wrong.
Hell yeah.
So this year I threw research out the window. I'm in a little bit of research, but mostly vibes. And
Nice.
again, I think, like Yaya was saying, Dallas is going to be on one or the other end of the spectrum. They're going to be great, or all of these risky. It's high risk, high reward in Dallas.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be high reward. I think Dallas is going to be real tough to play this year. So I put them up there. I think the other kind of high risk, high reward team, the one that you're buying in on yours, is Austin.
Yes.
I think Texas
Yes.
is the hotbed of
That's
high
right.
risk, high reward offseason moves.
Yeah, and we're all low on Houston, right? Who's coming off back-to-back playoff seasons.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm very low on Houston this year.
Yeah, even with Nicola Ladero, I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference, honestly. He's kind of older. He kind of started to teeter off a little bit after he left Seattle. He had a good season in Orlando, but he's not the same guy he used to be.
Yeah, and Jack McGlynn, love him, USMNT guy, hope for all the best, but I don't know that that's going to be enough to make up for some of the losses they've had with Hector Herrera, Carrasquilla.
What's
and what
possession-based
have you.
team? Like, if you're a possession-based team and you lose your midfield, the heart of that team, it's kind of hard to play the same way, right?
Also, just kind of an ugly brand. I'm not a believer. But you were talking Austin.
Yes, but we're talking Texas in general. Like
Right.
a lot going on in the Texas
Yeah,
teams.
horns down.
I mean,
over here.
Lucho is kind of in South America and Texas, I guess. It's similar. Like, it's not too far off.
But you've got Austin all the way up at 6.
Yeah.
Yaya and I have them on the fringe getting into playoffs. They're certainly going to be better than last year.
Yeah.
They've made just insane moves. Have
VV,
thrown a lot
baby.
of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. Why do you have them at 6?
No, I mean, I'm a big Brandon Vasquez believer. Obviously, like what he did for Cincy speaks for itself. Very intrigued by this Mirto Uzuni, who they get from Granada, Albanian striker. The YouTube highlights I looked up called him the Albanian Ronaldo, which is great. We usually have, it's usually every country has their Messi, you know, but finally we
They
have an
went
Albanian
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. I
That's
stand a
insane.
king in Gashi, so, you know, Albanian guys, I'm going to be all behind. His odds to be the MLS top scorer are actually pretty short, which is good in the betting world. I think, you know, they're a team that's going to keep going after it. If they start seeing good results from those new forwards, that's another team that could go in hard in the summer window. I believe in the project and their ability to swing a good season, though it's been since 2022 that they were actually good, you know?
And the other thing with Austin, like, I do believe, I like the moves they made. I think they're great moves, but what's behind them? We kind of saw it with the Rapids, right? You get the kind of key players, you get your core, but if injuries happen, if something happens, what's after that? They've struggled on defense. Their midfield isn't that deep.
Yeah.
Their best midfielder is Pereira. He's still on a Generation Adidas contract, I think.
Legends.
Like
That's how it's done.
that dude should have been a Rapid. I'm pissed he wasn't.
Yeah.
Instead we got Phil Mayaka, which R.I.P. his football career. Not him. He's still alive, I think. Hopefully.
Yes,
Hopefully still alive.
we're wishing you the best, buddy. Okay.
But that's my fear with Austin, man. Their depth in their midfield, and like their attack is going to be incredible. They're going to score goals, but how many goals are they going to let up as well? Are they going to get beat in transition
Yeah.
quite a bit?
Yep.
Like if a team like the Rapids who has speed is going up against Austin, which like it's going to happen. And Austin's just attacking. The Rapids have the speed the other way with a Kevin Cabral, with a Rafa and a Djordje just running right at them on a counterattack, and they're just going to get beat. You think St. Louis won't do the same thing? Red Bull's not going to do the same thing?
Yeah.
Like, and that's where I think Austin's going to lose a little bit of flair, and they're going to have to readjust halfway in the season. That attack's going to become a little bit less potent because they're not going to try to attack as much. And I think that's where things are going to get complicated. Now they need to make a few other moves. Some guys step up. I think they'll be good. I just don't know if they'll be top of the league good.
Well, that's the beauty of the West is everyone's trying to compete. There's very few teams. You guys think Vancouver, but that you're just like, I don't know, write them off. And after the top 3 seeds, I was kind of like, do I think the Rapids could be a 4 seed? And maybe it's 4, but you guys don't even believe in the Galaxy all that much because of all the injuries and, you know, already Peck, there's Atletico Madrid rumor. So, like, is he going to be around come the
There's
summer?
also like cup fog. It happens every year.
Yeah.
Cup fog is a real thing. Like the team never plays as good the next season as they just did. They lost Delgado, a key member of that defense. It's just going to be such a hard time for Galaxy to try to repeat, especially with their star marksman Ricky Puig being out for so long.
Yeah.
It's like, and even if he does come back for the playoffs, he's not going to have a lot of run into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
How good is he going to be then? He's an A-list player in the MLS, but how far does that actually get you?
Yeah, and you're replacing Jovic with Christian Ramirez, right? Is that going to work?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the beauty. It's wide open. It feels like anything can happen. I was not impressed by LAFC last night.
No, you should.
Like, I really
They're
think
boring.
everything being in on Giroud or even Igor Jesus even Hugo Lloris. Like, I don't know that these guys, like in my predictions, I really went strong on the teams that they have established MLS cores.
Yep.
That's Minnesota. That's Colorado. Vancouver to some extent fits that. Portland still being in the 9th spot ahead of teams with way more talent is that. You know, I think sometimes the flashy names you can get too excited by, and instead it's more the guys with the trusted, proven MLS guys in there. And it's why I'm a believer in San Jose, which you're even more of a believer, Dwayne. So tell me why the earthquake, why you're in on the earthquake here.
This was probably my most, I don't know if I would say full on unhinged, but
hey, it's a Bruce Arena team that added Chicho Arango and Josef Martinez in the offseason.
And those
And
are-
they still have Christian Ramirez, Christian Martinez on the side. So.
And-
there you go. Right.
you know, I think those
Added
those
Mac.
3 names are why I think the floor is so much higher for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
San Jose was terrible.
Oh,
They're
awful.
awful.
Yeah.
And you know, they did what they needed to do. They've spent a lot of money in the offseason. They brought in a new coach who is not just a new coach, but a proven MLS winner.
Yeah.
So I think
And
under the
college
leadership,
lacrosse winner. Yeah.
yeah, I think
I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
fun facts with Drake.
Yep.
Yeah, I just think under that leadership with Bruce Arena, like this team is going to be much better. Are they going to be 5th seed? I don't know.
That'd be lit.
I wanted to put a crazy take in there. And San Jose was my winner for that. I do think that they have the pieces to be playoff ready, playoff bound.
I
For
want to
sure.
get your takes on San Jose and talk about more of our mid-table darlings, including the Rapids, and where we all see them after this quick break. And we're back, baby. Yeah, you're smirking over there on the San Jose stuff. Give it to us.
I don't know, man. Like
You're
I
not
will never-
feeling the quake.
No, like San Jose to me are the New Orleans Pelicans.
Hell yeah.
They're the Cleveland Browns. They've done good stuff in the past.
Yeah.
I just never will believe in them. You know what I mean?
Wando forever.
Wanda was the last time I remember them. Like honestly,
Yeah.
and like I do like all the additions they made. They could be the Rapids of last year, where they just add a core.
Yeah.
And a
Yes.
good head coach, and they just become like this really fun team.
That would
defense
kind of be
just-
my pitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like they kind of suck at it defensively, but they're scoring goals out the wahoo, and they're just fun to watch all the time.
Yep.
I can never ever believe in San Jose. I can't get myself to believe in them. And I love Chicho. I'm a Chicho guy. I wanted him in a Pids kit. It just I don't know if San Jose. Also Bruce Arena, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
I love him, but like come on, like there's it's
let's be
also a
honest.
difficult
We don't
to coach.
love him. We kind of hate him.
I hate. I love his coaching style. Do I love him as a person?
Right.
No.
Respect, for sure.
Yeah,
Respect.
there's some respect there, but like, is he really the guy to lead San Jose to the next step? There's a little bit of that for me.
I mean, I think that's fair. Pids. We've got right there, 4 or 5 range. You and
Yep.
me, yeah. You've got them more in the 8 range, Dwayner. We haven't had a chance to even talk. I guess we talked Cudi Pietro. We haven't talked Josh Atencio since our last show. And I think we're all feeling a lot better about the Pids in the last couple weeks. So, obviously you said randomness ruled your predictions, which is great. But,
Yeah.
how are we feeling about the Pids now that we've had a chance to study up on the West and everything?
I feel playoffs for sure. And it's funny looking at some of the national pundits and their rankings. The Pids are one of those teams, kind of like we feel about Dallas, that people are either ranking pretty high or pretty low. I think they're going to be probably around the same area, so I put them at 7. I do think the Rapids are a better team than last year, especially on defense. We saw flashes of that last night. I think Reggie, Cheeto, Ian, Maxu, Keegan, that is going to be tough to deal with. They're going to be better than they were last year. They're not going to give up 60 goals. They are clearly better. You bring in Cudi Pietro. You bring in a Josh Atencio. You look at last night. We didn't talk about this very much earlier in the show, but Djordje and Rafa played great. I mean, obviously Djordje, but I think Rafa kind of had an undercover great game last night.
I would agree. I thought Kevin was really impactful.
Yeah. And so I think the offense is showing glimpses of being a little bit better. The reason they didn't move up much higher for me is that the West, the teams that are at the top of the West have stockpiled offensive weapons. And we've kind of stood pat on that. The message has been we're going to build from the foundation that we started last year. That foundation was not great on the wings. Rafa could have scored a lot more goals, but we saw last night too, like the balls just aren't getting to his feet. So I think there's going to be some challenges there. But I feel comfortable with them being, in the top half of the table. I'm just not sure that they're going to be like a top four.
Yeah, we were hyped about Josh Atencio.
Oh, dude. I'm actually doing a little research right here. Have you guys ever heard of CIES football?
No.
Nope.
They're the official research partner of UEFA and FIFA to kind of project the next kids out.
Uh-huh.
When you look at Josh Atencio, he's the 4th highest rated player under 23 that fits the Rodri profile around the world. He's with guys with Joao Neves, with Barrios out in
Mikey Barrios?
Atletico. No, he wishes.
Mikey forever.
He's with
Mikey.
Ambina. Like, that's the kind of players that Josh Atencio is being named with. He is a top tier player. Me and Dre were watching highlights, and we were just fawning over this kid. He's tall. He's athletic. He is good under pressure. Like, I hate big name comparisons, but you can't help see this guy and think Busquets. Like, he just grabs the ball.
You cannot not think Busquets.
Like,
I typed it and then was like, no, I can't send this in the group chat. And then you sent it and I was like, oh my God, yes, it's impossible not to see it.
And this coming from like a Barca fan. Like, I love Barca. I grew up watching Busquets. The kid is just calm, cool under pressure. You can't press him. And that's the best thing about Busquets, right? Like, he gets pressed, he finds the right pass immediately. He finds the open guy on the wings. It just feels like the Rapids got lucky that the Sounders couldn't find a spot for him, and they were able to make the trade.
Yep.
It really feels like the Rapids' due diligence from Porig. We know that he's been trying to get U22 guys into the Rapids team. He's been trying to get those kind of guys around the league. He doesn't want to buy any out-of-market U22. So finding a guy like Josh Atencio that can fill up in that spot. If Cole leaves, if Ronan leaves, and your pivot becomes...
That's the other take I loved, is a little insurance for Djordje and Cole.
I'm telling you, man, if Cole leaves, if Ronan leaves, and your pivot becomes Ollie and Josh Atencio, you're still in a good spot at the end of the day. You're not risking anything. If he becomes your pivot in a back five, you're still cooking. Like, he is so versatile. That's something that Porig loves. That's something that Chris Armas loves. And that's why I think the Rapids are actually going to be better than last year, because they kept the core. They were 6 last year, or 7, right? 6 or 7.
Not 6. They're 7.
7.
Yeah.
So they were right there. Why wouldn't they go up a couple of spots if they kept the core? They can get the same amount of points. It's just they're building around them now. And I think that's why I'm so excited about the Rapids. Josh Atencio, to me, just put me over the top.
100%. They're building that spine, right? I think winning teams, they have the spine, and we'll see if Stefan can have a better season, but at least you've got Baudry behind him, who I believe in. I liked what we saw from the Cincy defense starting off the bat, and I'm really, really, really like, I had a lot of doubts coming in about the center midfield last year, and now all that has been completely, with Ollie's breakout, with the addition of Atencio, with how good Cole has fit in to a real role that wasn't necessarily Cole 1.0, what you were seeing out of him, how Djordje's just ascended and been such a stable. I believe in it. I believe in what they're building up the spine. Hafa still was scoring goals last year, and I think not playing his best. And I believe in how they're building, right? This is the mentality is the same as those academy-driven projects we saw in FC Dallas almost 10 years ago and Union just a couple of years ago. But obviously you don't have the homegrowns to make it all in-house, though, I mean, part of what you're building this core on is made up from guys like Ollie and Cole and Sammy Vines and what have you. Baudry, Yappy, and key backup roles. But now you're adding depth to R2 with all these draft picks. And then you're adding high-end guys by finding great academy products that maybe haven't quite broken out in Atencio, in Di Pietro. And you're closing the depth gap with the draft, and you're closing the high-end gap by finding those nice guys. And it's like someone's saying in the chat, you're going to need a couple of the young guys to break out.
Yep.
But then again, at this point last year, no one was thinking Bombi would have been able to fund your entire transfer market in 2025. But that happened.
Yep.
So you got to believe in the project. Part of the project working out is some of those guys actually giving you those returns. But that foundation is so solid. I think a top 5 seed would be in the works. Now, Yaya has them playing the Galaxy again in round 1. Please, God, no. But
give me that.
Unless
take
there's
that.
no Pooch.
Even with Pooch,
He may come back. He may not play this year.
I think the Rapids are better suited to go against Galaxy this year than they were last year.
no doubt.
So I think it's going to be more of a dogfight than it was a blowout.
doubt.
Is there anything you'd switch on your list? Now looking at it after discussion.
I mean, yeah, I'd probably have Dallas like above Houston. At least in the 10 spot, you know? Like just hedge my bets a little bit.
I might move Minnesota kind of closer to where Yaya has them in a 3 and 4 spot.
Yeah.
You guys should just copy my standings. That's
San
fine.
Jose would seem less aggressive if at least Minnesota was ahead of them. I mean, Vancouver, look, Stuart Armstrong loss I think is big, but I'm intrigued by the young guys in Jaden Nelson and Emmanuel Sabi, who's more mid-20s, but I think Brian White's still going to have that service, and it's going to be less of a tactical playmaking service and more of just guys who can run up the wing, and I think they'll hold their own in that Cascadia Cup trio. I went West Coast heavy too.
Yeah, I don't believe in that Vancouver. I think losing Greg Vanney is a huge loss.
Should we take a minute to shit on RSL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Fuck it. No, like dude.
Just like with Jack McGlynn, I'm rooting for Diego Luna as much as I can, but Manny Crooks,
screw Diego Luna too.
You know, big losses.
Dude, I hope that team is just horrible. I wanted to put him at the very bottom. RSL always just finds a way to kind of be decent. They'll never be the worst ever.
Yeah.
But losing Chicho and losing their wingers, and they still have Crooks, which is something that they should have gotten rid of. Instead, they kept them. It's like that whole team to me just does not feel like MLS ready. It feels like them and Houston were the two teams that did not make any additions and did not try to fight for a spot in the West. They believe in Diego Luna too much, and I love Diego Luna. I think he's a good player, but he was also good because he had guys like Chicho around him.
100%.
And that's where they're going to struggle.
I feel like the talent level for RSL with all of the losses, now Pablo is back to working with a Rapids type squad that he had towards the end of his tenure here in Colorado. Everybody knows what Pablo Ball looks like, but they don't have that high skill to kind of push past Pablo Ball and still make it.
Yeah.
I think the lack of moves, I don't think Diego Luna is enough to get past that.
Yeah. 100%.
And let's hope they finish last. I hope I was wrong with Vancouver, and I hope that it's RSL in last place.
No doubt.
It just
betting
feels like they're
odds-
going to make a big move, right? It just feels like it. They have
100%. And they've got some guys from the summer window that were still getting integrated and might.
do something.
On the other side, our guys draft. It's time,
coming.
baby. It's time. Right after this. Okay, guys. How many do we get to draft?
3 rounds.
We got 3.
Okay.
It's 3 rounds.
Well, how do you say
Snake
3 in
draft.
Italian?
Huh?
How do you say 3 in Italian?
Try.
Did I? Oh. That's nice.
Snake round.
Sneaker.
I did.
How could you know
I
it?
went online and did a random generator, and that's how the order was picked.
Oh, wow.
So I got the
Downtown
first.
starting first.
I got the first overall, but
gonna
some would
say-
say Yaya has the best start because of its snake draft.
Of course. I was also going to say, because you bared through the weather, you should be given the first pick.
Oh well, I did it.
And being in the
I did it
sandwich
fair.
round is the shittiest spot to be. So thanks, guys. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Internet.
Thank the randomness of random generators.
You start us off then, my dear friend.
First overall pick. It's no surprise. I got to design this T-shirt because of him. I love him. He blew it up last night. I think he is the star player on the roster. He's fun. He grabs cameras and cusses into them. It's Djordje Mihailovic.
Oof. That's a good pick.
Strong pick. Strong.
Yeah, it's.
Strong.
I can't say anything cool about it. It's just it's Djordje.
If Alyssa's taking a while to type it out, it's because she's Googling it because it's such a weird name.
I DM'd you how to spell Djordje. Just I was like, you could just go Djordje. Which is also not easy to spell.
Now it's up to
Dre at the
Dre.
number 2 pick.
Okay. I mean, to me, Djordje and Cole are kind of off the board because they're everyone's guys. They're not necessarily. It's hard to claim one of them. Very easy, however, very easy to claim one Ollie Laraz.
Damn it.
I mean, as homegrown as it gets, a stand-up guy I know because I've hung out with him here on this very set watching some World Cup soccer when he was merely just an R2 darling. He has come up at every level. He's what this club is about, what I love about soccer in our state. What can you say about a guy who's just sacrificed him, made his game about the team through and through? When you have guys like Ollie Laraz pulling the strings, giving you that balance in midfield, like you're going to be about the right stuff.
Just so you know, at the end of the season, there is a winner in this. So you okay?
I think I just won.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, just letting you know that Cole would have been a good pick, and that's why I'm taking him right here.
Sure. Great.
So I'm taking Cole Bassett, man. I'm trying to win, and Cole's a winner. He's always been about winning.
How could you not
And
go wrong
I
with
think
Cole?
If Ollie does good, it's because Cole's gonna do better. Because Cole's setting him up and helping him out the whole time. So you gotta give me Cole Bassett right here. For my second round pick, I'm gonna go Rafa Navarro.
Wow.
Like, I think I've talked, me and Dre kept laughing that the goal record is only 16 goals. And I keep playing, he's going to break it. That's going to be the guy to break it. It's going to be Rafa. It's this year. The team is better around him. That Brazilian flow that's just running through the dick is going to be incredible when he breaks it. I'm going to love it.
Man, I hope you're right.
That got Dre going.
That's incredible. You're a real master of
I'm
words.
a poet, man. What are you talking about?
You are a poet, no doubt. Well, yeah, Yaya's throwing me off, criticizing my picks and telling me
didn't think
there's
he was
a
a pick.
winner at the end of this.
Every year there's a winner.
Based on vibes, though.
And vibes and record.
Based
Record? What tangible facts will you use to establish who the winner is?
Based solely
Cole's
on
assist.
arguing.
We need to go on. I'm gonna start calculating average grade for these guys.
Oh, we're bringing
to
numbies.
where I'll be the winner. So give me Cheeto, baby.
I should have taken
that
Cheeto.
was gonna be mine. I wanted
vibes were
Cheeto so bad.
incredible yesterday. He also gets credit for muzzling Bouanga. I think we're going to see a lot of that. I also saw some nice attempts on some longer throws, and I think we're going to see more of that. I think he's taking over for Maxu as the staple of that back line. And I love everything about him. He brings that physicality, he brings that size. He brings that speed as well, which are kind of missing post Bombi. I think he's going to be perfect for this Armas system. I think he's going to be perfect for Colorado. I think, he's the real deal, man. He's the real deal. And, you guys go for the fancy names. I'm going with guys with real substance who are the true core of this team.
Cheeto would have been my pick.
It's,
Do you
it's
think
a gift.
Maxwell was actually injured, or is he just on his way to Saudi Arabia?
Is the Saudi Arabian window still open?
They could probably make fun of
No,
it's
he's-
Saudi Arabia.
He's
He's
I think
sticking around?
Injured.
That's
I think
sad.
he's injured.
I kind of wish he was in Saudi Arabia.
I don't
Go
think
get
it's
the bag,
super
baby.
bad though. Like, yeah.
But I mean, in games like that, it's good to have a Danish player, to handle that kind of weather.
I will tell
I'm sure
you,
he might have played in colder games.
there was a play last night. I think it was in the first half where Cheeto burned all the way back down to the box. Not only got the ball away, but somehow it was still a goal kick. Lawless and Maxu could not have pulled that off. Cheeto is the real deal.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he was very verbal on the pitch. Like, there's a lot of strong leadership skills there. Talking to him at the presser last night, the guy is a total vibesman. He is the vibes in the same way that Bombi was last year. Like,
Also-
he's just a fun guy.
Early yellow card and wasn't worried about it in the slightest.
He went even
No.
harder after that yellow card.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Love him. Like
Cheeto's awesome.
monster offseason signing.
All right.
You're back downtown.
My second pick for me. We've not seen him in burgundy and blue yet, but
I know who
the
it is.
scouting is through the roof. We all are big believers.
You're King Cootie Pitcher.
It's Josh Atencio.
Dang. Right.
A steal
Right from
at
under
the,
us.
at the 6th overall pick.
the one man that didn't talk about it is the man that took it.
I'm a believer already. I like this
Brutal.
move more than any other move in the offseason. And then when we were chatting over the weekend, it just makes me even more of a believer. He is going to be an absolute difference maker for the Pids this year.
Plays on a key role, too.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
People finally get that defensive mid they wanted. Round 3, it's back to me again.
You can do it. This is where you have the good pick.
I have the good pick, and I'm going straight up with who I love. I love this guy. He came to the squad last year.
Oh, I know.
I keep a photo of him on my phone. I also have a photo of Rapid Man on my phone.
He probably is based in the light.
I keep a picture of this player and St. Clair together with him smacking St. Clair in the face.
Okay.
He is Reggie Cannon.
Wow.
He will smack a dude at any point. He locked down Bouanga last night. I hope he gets well soon. That injury is not enough for me to not draft him because I am that high on Reggie Cannon.
That's a great one. He looked ready to go yesterday.
He did.
I really hope he's okay.
He easily one
That
of the
was
best players on the
awesome.
pitch last night.
That was really awesome. Yeah. And also, I mean, that salary warrants, like, we need Reggie to be good.
Yeah.
That would really help. Okay, well, since there's a winner, I guess I won't take Josh Copeland because then I would be an automatic winner after Copeland's preseason back heel goal that we saw. I think that would end this competition right then and there. Detroit Mercy's own Joshua Copeland, their last first rounder. I think their 5th draft pick. But no, give me Sam Bassett, baby. Regarded by most as the top college player last season. They don't even have to spend a draft pick on him. The second he bends one in for an assist or one of the like baller goals we saw with the Pios, I'm going to lose my mind. He's already getting some run in preseason. I thought like the media day, him being the featured guy was like, are they doing this just because he's Cole's brother? But the more I see like the fact that he was one of the first subbed on yesterday, the fact that he got a ton of run early in the preseason, they believe in this kid. They think he's going to be a real answer. I think he's a real option to kind of replicate what Djordje gives you, which I don't think you necessarily have on this squad because Omir's a little different.
Yep.
Even Kudi Pietro is a little different. He's more of a take on one-on-one guy, a guy who can bring you some goals, not the playmaking 10. Sam can be that playmaking 10. He can be your free kick taker when Djordje's not there. I'm excited about this homegrown kid being able to come in and be an important contributor. It's hard to read anything into any of the forwards and how they performed yesterday. So yeah, screw it. I don't care if this could lose me the competition. Give me Sam all the way. Also, you're lucky I didn't just take the Harrises, the Sams, and double up the Cincy
That
guys.
would've been kind of been
because I
funny.
also thought of that as a strategy. But I'm a good guy, I'm a good guy.
What a good guy.
You're a decent guy.
Well, I might
If
be a
there was a-
scumbag. So
if there was a good guy
watch
draft-
yourselves when you get bad feedback on this app. Also, leave us a thumbs up. Off the fucking Pids, baby. It's your turn, Yaya. Close us out.
I made the mistake last year. I'm not doing it again. Give me Bombi. No, that was my last pick. And
Would you have won with Bombi because of the 7 million
100%.
fee?
100%.
Do transfer fees play
Yeah,
into
they will.
this?
They will. If it,
Sure,
if it
we
benefits
make up.
me, yeah.
There's
Bro.
no rules. We just make it up as we go.
Yeah.
along.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
It's who line is it
good at
anyway?
this, then.
It's who line is it anyways?
It's amazing.
No,
None of
I'm
us
actually,
are good at math. We
I'm
can't
actually
do stats.
gonna go with the other Canadian generation Adidas, and I'm going with Kimani Stewart Baines, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go with KSB.
KSB.
That dude is gonna be in the starting lineup.
He
That's
was on
their
my
answer.
short list as well.
Dude, that dude's gonna be in the starting lineup. He is gonna be the guy that they're gonna rely on in that winger spot. They don't have a guy like KSB on the roster right now. They don't have that flair. That's gonna be your dude. KSB's gonna have a breakout year. Book it right now. Dude's gonna have 7 goal contributions, and it's gonna be so much fun to watch him play. I'm all in on KSB, man. That's my guy. He brings all the swag to his team.
That is a great one right there. He was definitely on my short list, as was Calvin Harris. I also thought of making a category any drafted winger.
Which would be
KSB, Calvin Harris.
True.
They didn't draft him, but he's still
okay.
a high.
That's what I was like. I was wondering if you count it or not.
I'd get Wayne Frederick potentially.
I didn't think I was going to get Atencio with how high you guys are on
I
him.
know we haven't seen him yet.
And because
Yeah.
of that, my coming into this, my draft was Djordje, Reggie, and Kevin. And
Yeah,
I couldn't
you're
believe that
getting
I got Josh.
no
And so
Kevin.
that's the only reason that I didn't get the French Revolution in Kevin Cabral, because I think Cabral's going to have a great year this year.
I didn't think I was gonna get Cole or Rafa, honestly. At the third spot, so I was like, screw it, give me KSB in that third one.
This was glorious. Cannot wait to grade this unfairly and root for my guys all season long and for my predictions to be exactly right. Thank you all for tuning in. Leave us a thumbs up on the way out. Downtown Dwayne Brown, super producer Yaya. What do we say?
Up the Pids.
Up the Pids, baby. Have a great week. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.